you guys? Like, welcome you guys to another one take review. I was about to say DC TV talk because I was talking to DC movie, but this is not necessary. No, because it's not TV. All right, so as you guys know, Random Superman came out this week on digital. So you know what I'm saying. Me and a couple of friends got it and sat around and watched it last night. And I just have to say, this picks up after the death of Superman, which came out in 2018. I guess it's like a two-part story. I'm thinking two-part story. I thought it was a three-part story. In my defense, I'm not the big Superman fan, but I thought the Death of Superman movie was really, really good. And I also never read the Death of Superman comic. Like, I own it, just never got around to reading it yet. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to watch the movie and then read the comic because I don't like for me to go in with like a bias or like, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, oh, the comic did it this way, I want the movie to do it like this too. So I usually watch the movies first, then read the comics because I can appreciate the comics more when I watch them. And, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of vice versa with the movies. Well, not vice versa with seeing the movie first. I mean, seeing reading the comic then the movie, because I'd be like, I want to wish they would did something like that. But like I said, I'm not just a huge Superman fan, but I have to say, like, this movie, it continued like this, and it followed the trend of the death of Superman. It's like it gives a compelling story, and it doesn't make Superman this all powerful being. Cause that's always been my power. I mean, my problem with Superman is that the fact that the guy was just, to me, he's boring. You know what I'm saying? And not the fact that just necessarily his characters, boy. He's just too. I hate characters that are just too strong and can't be challenged. And I always felt like Superman really can't be challenged. Just sit back and hold back a lot of the time. And in both of these movies, it gives you a Superman who's like, no, he's not the strongest thing cooking. You know what I'm saying? And then you also play the emotional stuff with the stuff with Lois Lane going on. And then this one, that's pretty much who you kind of following through this. It's like this. It has four Superman. If you guys know the storyline, Steel, Superboy, uh, Cyborg Superman, and the Eradicator. I'm gonna call him the Eradicator. They call him in the last one, the Krypton in the comics, I think. But I'm gonna call it the Eradicator for the sake. This is the one with the goggles, and you following them. But more importantly, you really following Lois Lane and Superboy and Lex Luthor. They're really like the three central keys to this storyline, because I think Superboy was probably the most fleshed out character, along with Steel and Cyborg Superman. But like, you also get where the Eradicator comes from. You get all of that, and in this movie, like one thing in these DC films is like the animation is always on point. It's always fluid. It always like visually like compelling, and you know what I'm saying. And it sticks with everything. It gets to be seen in like the DC animated films, and like and as well as like stuff like Young Justice. Like, the animation is always off the chart. And so when you watch it, you watching it for like the action, but like, since I didn't know the storyline and I didn't know what was happening, this my whole time was just like, I'm just taking stuff in, like, okay, okay, because like I said, I've never familiarized myself with the storyline, so that would make this movie that much better for me as well, because I'm automatically assuming, just from the thought that for Superman came, that hey, yeah, they want to be good, but I think they're all truly evil. And that's not the case at all. They all have legitimate reason for why they became Superman, and what they're trying to accomplish as Superman. They had the whole thing with Superboy, everything going on with Steel, all of that. And then you kind of wonder, like, hey, well, what's, I understand these new Superman here, but what happened with the Justice League? Why are they not around? And then you find out what happened with that. Like, to me, this movie is a perfect pickup after. I mean, I know it just picks right up after the first one, but you see how perfect they blend together, because like, if you watch them back to back, which I probably should have did, it's like you'll get I think an even greater appreciation for them. When you take and watching, you get a greater appreciation for Superman and who he is and who his character is, and then there's some surprises in this if you don't know the storyline. Once you see, well, you can see, but I didn't know they happened this movie. I thought there was another film that came after this that was going to show something that I wanted to see. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, this makes a lot of sense. And this works so well for the movie, because it doesn't make Lex, like, it makes Lex Luthor be the dick that he always is. But at the same time, it's like, oh, well, shit. he's kind of trying to help too. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of I ain't gonna say you torn on Lex Luthor, but it's kind of like, ah, well, yeah, I'm not mad at what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed that aspect. Overall, like the film as a whole is good. Like it's no other way to put it. Like I couldn't hate this thing if I wanted to because it was what I wanted to see, and I can't wait to see what they do with some of these characters going forward. One character in particular, considering the fact that I know kind of what he leads to, and it's something they kind of allude to in this. And I'm thinking we're gonna get to see more and see it explored more in this DC animated universe because all their movies tying together, which is amazing because the way they time together, nothing ever overlaps anything, or nothing ever like, and they have never have any continuity issues. It's like I know, like people love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A lot of people love the DC EU, the DC EU universe, like the CW show. But I think overall, for me, the best universe out of all the comic book shows is this one, the DC animated films universe, because the way you have so many things going, but yet they all make sense and they all tell stories with fleshed out characters and great animation, great battles, and you understand the world in which they live in and it's vividly. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I would have to give uh, The Reign of Superman an A. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I didn't expect to, especially considering the fact that I'm rocking with four new Superman, when the fact that I'm not even just a big Superman fan. It got me to like four of them or appreciate four of them is quite a feat. And I take a great appreciation for Lois Lane because I'm not just a huge Lois Lane fan either. But in this film, it's like you. I'm not gonna say you understand her more because you know who Lois Lane is. It's just I don't know. I just appreciated her more in this for some reason, as well as I did in the Death of Superman. So, I, they keep on doing stuff like this. Superman might have to move down somewhere up on my or move up. I don't know, move up or down. I don't know. However you say it, up on my top favorite comic book characters. So I'm appreciating this. And now it's time for me to read the comic. Now that I've seen the movie, now I can read the comics and see what I'm saying. Now I can separate the two. But you guys let me know what you thought about that in the comments. Hit that like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch up with you guys later.